Hello everybody, I'm Liz, and today I am here to do a follow-up to my Tuesday video because I talked a lot about starting up your channel, getting seen, and just kind of things that I had assumptions with or the things I had no idea with starting out. And so I wanted to strip everything down and break down a BookTube 101, how to start your channel, and if you have already started, how to make friends and get seen and feel productive with your channel. Before I start, I have to say that do not start a BookTube channel because you want to get famous and make a lot of money, because that is likely to not happen. You have to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers before you really start making a profit on BookTube based upon how much time you're gonna put in filming, editing, uploading, and all of that stuff. Primarily focus on BookTube or YouTube in general as a hobby, and then if you do getting a huge following, a huge backing, then you can focus at that point about how to make a profit. So first up, I'm going to start with the biggest area of confusion and difficulty with starting a BookTube or YouTube channel, and that is equipment. Do I need to spend a lot of money? The answer is no. You can start a YouTube channel with everything you have at home as long as you have a phone or a computer. You can spend money on really good photography, video equipment if you would like, but you do not have to. I have separated the basic equipment into categories of expensive versus essentially free, and you can pick and choose what you want from there. So what's really awesome is some booktubers have a list of the equipment they use, like Kaz from Little Book Owl and Jenna Clarek. They actually have a list of cameras, editing software, and lighting equipment and stuff that they actually use in their channel. So you can check out that if you want to. For specifics, Kaz's camera is a Canon. She uses the Canon PowerShot G7 for her vlogging, which isn't expensive. You're looking at about a $600 camera if you would like that. She uses for her regular videos a Canon EOS 60D, which camera alone is in the $350 range with lenses and everything else. You could be talking upwards of $400 or $500, but you don't need to spend that much. I use a Canon camcorder. It is the Canon Vixia HFR 600. I spent about $300 on it when I purchased it 4 years ago. Now it runs for about $200. So it's still a little pricey, but in the realm of camcorder expenses, it is on the lower end. But honestly, you can use your phone or your webcam on your computer to start a channel. I know countless of people that record their videos on their iPhone. Primarily, your quality comes from lighting, and you do not have to spend $80 for a ring light or $40 for a studio light. You can use the lights around your house. I have the ceiling light over in this corner, a lamp over in this corner, and then another lamp in front of me, like a little small desk lamp, with a poster board, 99 cents, and it reflects all that white light back at me to try to brighten things up. The sunlight is a great resource. That's why I try to record in the daytime, because that gives me an added boost. I mean, it's not always feasible with clouds, and if you have trees near your window with leaves that do not really work as a great reflection for light, but you can make do, you can do what you want. I have, while making this video and looking at resources, there is a pretty good booktuber that uses her TV, and it's Lainey. She uses her TV in front of her, behind the camera, It's paused onto some bright cartoon. She used Family Guy, and it gave enough light to where you can see everything behind her and herself really well, so you don't need to spend a lot of money on lighting. Next, we have the big honcho editing software, which can get pretty expensive. iMovie for Mac users is a great resource. It is a fantastic editing program. I personally don't use it because I have a PC, but it is still a great resource. So many people who use Mac computers, that is exactly the editing software they use, and their videos are amazing. I started out using the Windows Movie Maker when I was editing my videos. It's about the first 3 months of my videos. It is a great first resource to learn how to do the cut and cropping of your videos. However, you can't do a lot of embedded like pictures, texts, titles, music. So if you want to add that, you might need to come back and get a better, more expensive video software for PC. It's just a sad realization for PC owners like myself. I was very fortunate that my friend got me Adobe Premiere Elements for Christmas. I didn't realize how expensive it is until looking up this video, and I realized it is a $100 subscription. It's expensive, and if you can find cheaper versions, do it. My version, like I said, is almost 4 years old, and it still works great. Kaz uses Final Cut Pro, and her videos are always fantastic. That one is another kind of expensive one. It's just not nearly as expensive as Adobe Premiere because it centers around $50. My biggest advice is to test things out, look for free trial periods, and look at tutorials online, get a groove, find what works for you, and stick with it. Now, everyone asks, do I need a microphone? And that really depends upon the camera you use, how well it picks up your voice. I don't use a microphone, and I've had little to no issues with my audio. The only time is if I speak quietly or if I have a guest on and they speak quietly because they're not quite used to my audio recorder. And so that can lead to some issues. You might want to buy yourself a little tiny clip-on microphone that runs for about $10, or you can use headphones that have the mic attached with it, or you can get yourself a tabletop microphone, which runs more expensive at approximately $30 or more. Try your camera out, see how it records, and see what you need to do to make it better. Next up, we have filming your first video, and honestly, you're never going to get past that awkward stage of your first videos when you're just starting out talking to a camera. You feel weird, you feel awkward, you forget what you say, there's long pauses. I still have long pauses. And in my previous Tuesday video, I told you I have pet peeves where I say like, so very frequently, and it makes editing sometimes a hot mess because I get irritated by my own voice. Just practice, get more comfortable. You can record as many times as you want because with movie editing magic and software, you can paste all the clips together. You can do your little jump cuts into each little side and segment that you like and come out with a really top of the piece, top of the world video, all because you took the time to record the segments you want people to hear you. Most people can't talk for 5 minutes coherently, let alone maybe even 30 seconds. And that is what makes editing amazing, is you can record a rambly 30 to an hour video and cut it down to 5 minutes of cohesive, coherent material. And that's all you do. Just practice with your editing software, practice recording, make sure you feel comfortable and record, and just talk to yourself, talk to your camera until you feel comfortable and confident and happy with what you're putting out there. A good hint of advice when you're starting your booktube channel is start with the booktube newbie tag. It has a couple questions and it'll really tell your viewers who you are, what you want to bring to the community, and just what your ideas and thoughts and feelings moving forward on your channel will be. When it comes to your intros and outros, try to be as brief as possible. Make sure you greet your viewers, you say who you are so that they can put a name to your channel, especially like myself, where my channel name is not my personal name. Just make sure that people know who you are, what your first name is, so that they can give you credit, give you shout outs, and just really connect with you on a personal and friendship level. Always make sure that if you're doing tag videos or if you're shouting people out, also let them know in the intro who created the original tag, maybe where you heard it from. Leave their links with the URLs so that people can click on them after watching your video if they're interested on doing the tag themselves or seeing some new content. And then with your outros, again, make sure you are saying a fond farewell, you're enticing them to maybe interact with you by leaving comments down below or where to check out other videos. And if they would like to subscribe, they can subscribe to your content and get notifications so they can watch more as you produce more videos. Now, here's the big question. Do you script your videos? Absolutely you can. It helps when you're just starting out so that you can think about what you're saying and what you're doing and how to move forward from segment to segment. And so I script a lot of videos, especially when they're research intensive, so I make sure I don't leave anything out. Here is my script, I don't know if you can read it, of this video where I wrote out everything I wanted to talk about and really just give myself, it's a bulleted list. I don't try to write down sentence by sentence because I'm never gonna follow it. I personally cannot memorize anything like that. It would be impossible. So I use it as a guideline. Bullet points are great, especially when it comes to like wrap-ups and tags. Next, we have editing your video that you just filmed. Now, it all depends upon the software you use. I can give you some tips and tricks for Adobe Premiere, but the other ones I can't because I don't know their programs, I don't know the shortcuts and what to do with those. So I strongly suggest you click tutorials and watch and figure it out to help you edit quicker, because editing takes a long time. A very, very long time. You don't realize this when you start a channel, but editing can take forever, hours even. As my rule of thumb, each video I record, my raw video, it takes about twice as long for me to edit that as it is to film. So right now I'm sitting at about 21 minutes, and so that means it's going to be about 40 minutes of editing that I'm going to sit and do. It could take longer, it could take shorter, but I give myself that rule of thumb so I know about what to expect. Again, with filming, editing is the same. Practice makes perfect, or at least near perfect. So the more you practice, the more you fiddle around with it, the more tutorials you watch, the more comfortable and confident you will be in video editing. A big helpful hint is make sure you pay attention to your audio as you edit. Make sure that when you are making cuts in your raw video and splicing them back together, that the first audio matches the second audio, because if this one's a low tone and then jumps to a high tone, that can be very unsettling to your viewers. Another one is if your background music is louder than your voice so they can't hear you. That's also going to deter your viewers from watching more of your videos. This is very common in so many, even like experienced booktubers. They struggle with putting music in their videos, especially when they are talking and they go to a music clip and the talking is quiet and the music is loud. It takes practice. What I do is when I'm finished editing, I will plug in headphones and listen to the whole thing, and so I make sure I'm not blasting my audience. Another thing with music is make sure you look at YouTube's licensing agreements. You need to make sure that you can play that music in your video because you don't want it to be muted, and you also don't want it to be flagged or taken down or get in trouble with copyright issues with YouTube, because it's the easiest way to make things on your channel more complicated. Next up, your video's edited, you're ready to upload it. You need to create your thumbnail. Your thumbnail is just your little picture that shows people what you're going to talk about. It usually has your face and what you're talking about. So like this, Booktube 101, that's my title. And so I'll put that in the picture. You can do little doilies, you can like make it look cute, you can make it look plain, you can just put the title on it. That's fine too. You can do whatever you want, whatever stylistically creative licensing you have, do with your thumbnail. If you need to know what software to use, right now, currently, I use Paint 3D that comes standard with my PC. It's free. All I do is put the title in there and I run with it that way. I used to get really creative and use PicMonkey, but that was back when you didn't need an account for PicMonkey and I didn't really feel like creating an account, so I changed it up. You can also use Photor. I used Photor because I had to change my pictures because my camcorder, it records in the BMP file format, and so I needed to change it to a JPEG, which Photor allowed me to do up until about 6 months ago. And so that's again why I also use 3D Paint, because I can change the file format in 3D Paint, I can edit it, it's so much easier. One of my friends, Amanda from Acourtofbooksandlove, she does Canva. Canva is another free account on the internet that you can use. It's really great and easy. You do have to create an account for it, but it is free. I've used it to make flyers for school and presentation materials, and so it is a really easy, really good resource. Try out things and find what you like. Now great, you have your video finished and ready to upload. You have your thumbnail, so now you're going to YouTube to upload. And all you do is you upload. It can take a while, especially if you're over Wi-Fi. Mine roughly takes about 45 minutes. It really all depends upon how large your file is to upload and whether you're using Wi-Fi or your computer is plugged directly into the Ethernet. When you're making your description box, I always give a quick greeting and maybe a little comedic, at least to me, sentence. And then I will do any important information, like I'll write down tag creators and other mentions and put their URLs in. Like today I'm going to put all the resources for where you can find these products that I've mentioned in my equipment down below with their URL for Amazon, because that's what I used when I looked at these prices. And then I do a cute little like contact me, where you can find me outside of YouTube if you want to talk to me, like Instagram, GoodReads, my email, and Twitter if you want to talk to me on Twitter. Now a lot of people wonder, should I CC or closed caption my videos? I used to do it, but it took me a lot longer than I actually had time to do right now. I would always say if you have time to CC your videos, do so, because it really helps those that are hard of hearing or those that are deaf that still want to be a part of the community. So try to CC your videos if you can, if you have time. One thing that really speeds up the process is waiting until YouTube auto-generates their closed captions, and then you click on them and edit them. Alright, so you have made your first video, you've uploaded it, you're sharing it over your social media so people will click on it, find you, and watch you. Now what? How do you get yourself seen more? As I said, you can share it on your other social medias and people who follow you will click on it and check you out. One thing to keep in mind is it's very important not to focus on the numbers of your views, your subscribers, your likes. Don't really pay attention to that. Just deal with how you're feeling. Make sure you're happy with your content you put out there, and really just enjoy your experience and love on the people who give you comments. Try to comment back to them as soon as you are able to, and just let them know that you appreciate that they're watching and commenting on your videos. Even if it's just like a smiley face or a heart or a thank you, just so that they know that you saw their comment and that you are happy with their ideas, or that they replied, or that they liked your video. Now, channels, they can stagnate, they can struggle to grow. And keep in mind, like I said, don't pay attention to the numbers. Like, that's okay. If you are struggling and you don't feel happy with your channel because of its stagnation, try something new. You can join groups like GoodReads Groups, like Top 5 Wednesdays hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, or you can join their monthly recommendations list and do monthly recommendation videos. You can join read-alongs, which everybody hosts read-alongs forever. I know Kaz, Little Book Owl, tries to find read-alongs when they are, and she creates this huge Google document spread every year with them. And join that. The big one is the Booktube-a-thon, which is hosted around every August or September. There's also the Biannual Bibliothon, which is they host a winter and a summer. So those are really great ways to get people, especially larger booktubers, to see your channel, come interact with you, see your content, and see how creative you can be. And like I said, even if your channel's not growing quickly and it may stagnate, or you're growing quickly and you think you're growing quickly until you see somebody who started the same time as you grow much faster. Congratulate them, praise them for their hard work, but also be very proud of your own hard work, because it will get there. You will be confident and comfortable with your channel and how it's progressing. And if not, do what you can by engaging in your viewers and engaging in other videos. Go and watch other booktubers and comment on their page by saying, hey, I liked your video, this is what I think about it. Try not to spam them by getting them to look at your videos unless you made a video similar to the one you just viewed, and say, oh, I made my own video on these exact thoughts. Here it is. And then they'll go and look at it. Check it out. It's really important not to spam people, because it'll really turn them off from your channel. But if other channels grow more quickly than you, really realize that that's okay, because they're working hard, you're working hard, and sometimes the YouTube algorithm sucks. Talk to anybody at how much the YouTube algorithm and getting their videos seen is complete garbage. Sometimes you just have to be out there and do your thing. One thing that's really great on getting more visibility is creating tag videos and tagging people in it, or doing a tag video from somebody else and then also again tagging other people, like doing shout outs and mentions. And the more you really boost others, you're more likely to also boost yourself. One thing that has really helped me out is by creating a upload schedule. So I upload every Tuesday and Friday, and so I know when to put videos out. I can pre-record, schedule uploads so that my viewers know, hey, I can look out for their video Tuesday, I can look out Friday for their video, I can look out Monday, Wednesday, whatever day you want to upload. Your viewers will know to expect a video that day, and they can wait and watch and check on it. Another thing is you can use other social media applications to find friends and to find your subscribers and people you're subscribed to create more elaborate and more cohesive friendships, because the more friendships you create, the more likely they are to go and visit your other social media pages. Now, know that with viewership comes warnings, like comments. This community is amazing and very friendly, and you usually don't find trolls out there, but trolls do happen. Rude comments can happen. I've gotten a few. The easiest thing to do is ignore it, delete it, and move on. Because it's not worth your mental health to focus on these negative comments. Constructive criticism can help you, but rudeness will not. And so move away from it, move on, and just don't worry about it. I know that's really hard to say because I struggle too all the time, but it'll really improve your mental health in the long run if you don't focus on those rude, hateful comments. Again, another thing with putting your content out there is disclaimers. Some people get really rambunctious and over exuberant with their disclaimers, and they're talking 2 minutes or more on how this video is their opinion. This opinion on a book is their opinion. We get it. So when you're doing a disclaimer, please be as brief as you can. Shoot for 10 seconds, max 30. So I created my own disclaimer for this video because I am not an expert in BookTube, but I am here to help you when you're new or you're trying to start but you don't know when, where, or when to start. So I'm here for you, and I am not an expert, but I will try to help you out as best as I can, give you advice, more tips and tricks, and just tell you to be you. Remember to be yourself and do what makes you happy. You do you, and it might be very different from me or a bigger booktuber or anybody, because only you can truly be happy by being yourself. Now, that sums up my video. I've been talking for quite a long time, almost 40 minutes. So I am going to close here, say thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave me a comment down below. If you have any tips and tricks, help me out, help anybody else out watching this video on how they can start their channel or improve their channel if they're new. And even if they're seasoned like myself, everybody can use helpful advice and pointers into making their channel even bigger and better. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I helped you out, and I hope you come back and watch more of my videos by subscribing and being notified to when I post more. Like I said, I usually post every Tuesday and Friday, and until then, I love you guys. Bye!